Yeah,
Hi, friends.
Nikisha.
Yeah. Hi, friends. A very pleasant good evening and welcome to Oliveboard. I really hope that all of you are doing great and keeping safe. So, friends, today we have a very special guest with us, and at the end of the interview, you're going to take a lot of important points away. So the guest that is there with us had secured All India Rank 1 in UPSC EPFO examination that was held in the year 2017. His name is Mr. Karan Raghav, and he is a personality that has been inspiring many these days. So the first thing about Mr. Karan is that he graduated doing his business studies in the year 2012. He has been a UPSC aspirant and he has given 5 attempts at UPSC. He cleared prelims each time. So you can talk about the perseverance that he has. He gave mains examination 5 times. So again, he did not lose hope. EPF examination had to happen. He took this chance and it turned out to be really well. And that's why we have him here today, securing All India Rank 1 at this particular examination. There's a lot more that we're going to be taking away during this particular session. We'll take a sneak peek into his journey. We will talk about his preparation strategy. We'll also talk about how he is at present because he's posted in Delhi and he's been in this profile for long now. So Karan, first of all, a very, very warm welcome from the entire team of Oliveboard.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Riti. Thank you
Hi.
for welcoming me.
And
Hope you
thank you
all
for
are
taking
good.
time.
My pleasure.
So Karan, first thing I'm really curious to know, you started off with UPSC preparation and how did you decide on that? And the first thing, was UPSC always in your mind, even during your graduation?
Okay, so the honest answer is no. While I was in my last year, uh, some of my friends were preparing for it, and that's why I went for it. So, frankly, my why part was not very clear. And as you can see from my track record, I paid quite a heavy price for that. So anyone watching this, I'd like to sincerely advise that work on your why the most. आप किसी भी एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हो, चाहे सिविल्स का हो, चाहे ईपीएफओ का हो, why do you want to crack it? उसके ऊपर सबसे ज्यादा काम करने की जरूरत है, because if that is not clear, then you will end up doing a lot of, you'll end up making a lot of effort, and वो जो अंदर से आग आती है, जो अंदर से पैशन आता है, वो कहीं ना कहीं आप एक्सटर्नैलिटीज में उसको फिल इन करने की कोशिश करेंगे. So yeah, Riti, that was my why.
So that's quite an honest answer. And Karan, जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं, we are seeing many people joining here, and I'm pretty sure कि you'll be, there to answer a lot of questions. All young aspirants looking forward to you, because जब भी हम किसी को देखते हैं ना, जिसने मतलब इतने attempts दिए हैं, and still that person has not lost hope, right? You move on, you give some other examination, you clear, and go on to secure All India Rank 1. So these kind of stories, and when you actually get a chance to interact, it's a pleasure actually for us and the students out there. So you're going to be answering some few questions that I'll be picking for you, so I think you need to be ready for that rapid fire kind of a thing as well.
Surely.
Right. Karan, one thing is, जब यूपीएससी पे कंसंट्रेशन होता है पूरा, right, your focus is completely UPSC. Suddenly this kind of an examination comes up. What motivated you to go for EPFO in the first place?
Okay, so I had already given 3 attempts by then when this exam was notified in June 2016. I was in Gujarat preparing for UPSC Civil Services. वहाँ पे एक university, it runs a program for IAS aspirants. I was a part of that program. So I had a community. I was a part of a community, and the good thing about being part of a community while preparing is that you do not miss out on the opportunities other than the main exam that you're eyeing at. And it is very important, especially when you become a veteran at this field. So because alternative sources of employment also you have to explore after a certain point of time. So in June 2016, some of my friends, they told me about this exam and we applied for it together. In February, the exam was conducted by UPSC, and that's how I came to know about it. Other than that, I have I have a friend who's a former APFC assistant PF commissioner. So I inquired about the post and the organization. So that way I had some information about some insider info about the organization and the profile. So that also helped me.
So I think to this time we do have awareness, right? But at that time when you were giving, itna nahi tha EPFO ka, right? We did not have that buzz around it.
That was a double-edged sword in a sense.
Yeah.
So naturally competition bhi ab zyada hai. Because I remember when in February 2017 जब मैं exam ये देने गया था, तो there were hardly 20-30% people who were appearing for this exam. And in all likelihood, I don't think if I am assuming 10 odd lakh people are appearing for it. I have filled the application. तो रेशियो बहुत ज्यादा उसमें डिफरेंस मुझे नहीं लगता इस बार भी पड़ेगा. तो कोई भी अगर ये सोच रहा है कि बहुत कंपटीशन है तो वो घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि कंपटीशन आपका सबसे ज्यादा अपने आप से. Nobody else is competing against you.
I think that's very well put out. That's something which we need to take away. कि competition तो अपने आप से ही at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. And one teacher once told me that in this field, most of the people are pretenders. वो contender बहुत कम है.
Correct.
तो इस चीज का वो उस फिगर से मत घबराओ कि आप 10 लाख हैं, 5 लाख हैं. कंपटीशन आपका अपने आप से है. आप तैयारी करो and you'll definitely crack it.
आपने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली है, क्योंकि whenever the students are vying for any options ना, पहली चीज यही होती है कि so many aspirants are there, will I be able to clear? I think so that's a very valid point for them as well. Yeah. So Karan, one thing is, it's very clear that if you have given UPSC exam, it's going to be you'll have an advantage here, right, while giving EPFO. But what about those students or that section who have never attempted UPSC but still want to appear for this exam or trying for this exam? What is your take on that particular section?
देखिए, there are several categories of aspirants who can hold an edge in this exam in the respective categories. So there could be people who might not be UPSC aspirants but are commerce graduates.
Correct.
So they might hold an edge in industrial relations and accountancy wale topics. There could be people who would have prepared for exams like SSC, banking, CAT. So they'll have they'll hold an edge in English and quantitative abilities wala section. My good luck was that I am a commerce graduate who had once prepared for CAT and had been preparing for UPSC. And I had a good day at the exam and at the interview as well. So yeah. तो इसमें ये है कि आपको अपनी SWOT analysis करना बहुत जरूरी है. SWOT analysis यानी अपने strengths और weaknesses का assessment करना. It is very crucial because, for example, I was never good at science and tech. मैंने after 10th I have never studied science up until the UPSC days. So I knew it that I cannot compete against engineers and people from science background.
Correct.
तो उसको मैं उतना ही prepare करता था जितना उसका minimum requirement है. And I've discussed with other aspirants also that you don't have to be a PhD at every topic.
Very true.
So go by the previous year questions. Trend देखिए, इसमें the disadvantage is that there is only in the recent history only once that this exam has been conducted, but you can still have a go and look at the APFC exam. So some days ago I was going through the previous year question papers, and I observed this interesting thing that there was one question on books by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in both 2017 EO exam as well as 2016 APFC exam.
There are similarities.
There are similarities, and I mean, you have to be very aware even during the exam also. You have to make the best use of the knowledge that you already have. You cannot study everything.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So So I think, Karan, this is a very valid point which I was going to come to. So let's take it up here itself that like when you see the pattern, right, there are a number of sections which includes polity, economy, you have general science, you have mental ability, English, right? As you very correctly said, ki sabko master nahi karna hai, right? So how do you, make the students believe ki if I'm good at say 4 to 5 things, let me just go for it, right? Because you have done your preparation. As you said, you were not good at all the sections. So is that fear valid? Ki I don't know all the sections, तो मैं नहीं attempt करूँगा. There are many students who do that. कि मुझे 3 चीजें आती हैं, बाकी चीजें नहीं आती. They try to master it and they leave their attempt. So what do you want to tell to those aspirants who are weak in a few sections, very good in few? How do they, leverage their strengths there?
See, you cannot leave any topic totally unprepared.
Correct.
So I have, some of my friends, they pull my leg that ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है कि you have not studied anything for industrial relations.
Correct.
So, as I have on multiple occasions mentioned it that I was a commerce student. So even if I won't prepare it separately, I have in the back of my head some lectures, some random teacher teaching that 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So if you are not a commerce graduate, then you have to invest those resources. Similarly, a science student can afford to not study, say, 6 to 10 NCRTs. But I can't.
Yes.
तो आपको पहले अपनी individual profile को अच्छे से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. उसके according, you have to make the choices.
Fine. I think
कोई भी टॉपिक आप बिल्कुल इस तरह से नहीं छोड़ सकते हो कि आप बिल्कुल ही छोड़ के आ गए. Because as you know, people jokingly say that this is the unpredictable public service commission.
True. That continues, right? So
one of your weaker subjects, उसमें अगर इतने सारे questions आ गए, and moreover this time competition, तो चलो एक अलग एक angle हो गया. उसके अलावा भी, I mean, you cannot leave any topic totally unprepared. Minimum level
blank नहीं हो सकते.
Blank नहीं हो सकते. And छोटी छोटी टिप्स ऐसी हो सकती हैं कि जैसे मैं एनसीईआरटीज पढ़ता था साइंस की, 6 to 10 की एनसीईआरटीज पढ़ी, तो उसमें आई यूज्ड टू डेफिनेटली रीड दो समरीज. आपको कोई वीक टॉपिक है, आप उसको 3 बार 4 बार तो पढ़ोगे ही, उसके बाद भी आप उसकी समरीज कर सकते हो. वन शुड, अब इस स्टेज पे इट माइट बी अ लिटिल लेट, बट इवन सो ऐसे अगर आप सोर्सेज रेफर करते हो जिनमें समरीज हैं, उनकी रिवीजन वैल्यू बहुत ज्यादा होती है.
Exactly.
लास्ट मोमेंट पे भी आप उससे रिवाइज कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर अकाउंटेंसी की बात करें तो अलग अलग सोर्सेज हैं. जैसे NIOS की जो बुक है, उसमें समरी में काफी कुछ रखा होता है. उसकी रिवीजन वैल्यू हो जाती है. कुछ जैसे टॉपिक्स हैं जैसे एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री कह रहा हूँ, सॉरी, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री में, तो स्पेक्ट्रम की बुक के एंड में वो सारे जो फ्रीक्वेंटली आस्क्ड वो होते हैं, क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट कांग्रेस सेशंस, इंपॉर्टेंट रिवोल्ट्स, ओके, इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़पेपर्स, किसने कौन सी सोसाइटी स्टार्ट की. देन इंडेक्स में आपको फिगर्स मिल जाते हैं. तो आपको कुछ इंटेलिजेंटली अपने लिए बिल्ड करना पड़ेगा, कुछ स्ट्रेटजी बिल्ड करनी पड़ेगी. एंड one of our teachers, he used to half jokingly used to say that टॉपर का महल देख के अपना झोपड़ा मत जला लो. Do not burn your heart just because you are attracted by the topper's palace. Because more often than not, even the people who get selected, they are not sure कि उनका पढ़ा हुआ कौन सा चीज कहाँ से यूज में आई है.
Correct.
And even more so for people like us who have been preparing for so long that it's hard to pinpoint कि ये वाले source से ये question आया.
True. Yes. So I think Karan, more, इससे ये निकल के आ रहा है कि the first and the foremost thing that people should look out for is the kind of, I would say, the confidence or the perseverance with which you guys moved forward. आपने बहुत सही से कहा कि you have had a long journey and in that you referred multiple things, you must have done multiple practice tests and everything, right? So it's not easy कि कहाँ से क्या पढ़ लिया आपने, right? So that's how the students should look at you कि the confidence levels, the inspiration can be the toppers, but exact strategy cannot be replicated. That's one thing which is rightly put forward. Yeah. So, Karan, the other thing is the section who's given UPSC, right? They study UPSC on a different level. जैसे आपका मेंस का एग्जाम है, right? So they go into depth. हर चीज के बारे में they do an analysis कि इसका क्या, consequences क्या है, advantages क्या है, disadvantages क्या है. बहुत comprehensively they prepare their topics, right? But when it comes to EPFO, what kind of depth is required here?
See, as far as questions on accounts are concerned, my brief analysis that I did suggests that it's not very in-depth questions that are asked. CA level questions नहीं पूछे जाते हैं, conceptual questions ही होते हैं. But on the other hand, कुछ topics ऐसे हैं जैसे ancient history में, modern history में लॉर्ड कर्जन की पॉलिसीज के ऊपर अगर कुछ क्वेश्चन इस तरह से पूछा है तो वो आपको लूसेंट जैसी बुक से नहीं मिलेगा, which is for those of you who don't know the book, it's generally used for SSC and बैंक वाले एग्जाम्स. तो उसमें conceptual questions भी हैं. तो see, the point is that एग्जाम कंडक्ट करने वाली बॉडी यूपीएससी है.
करेक्ट.
उसका क्वेश्चंस का स्टेचर आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो कि वो इन डेप्थ क्वेश्चंस हो. तो यू शुड गो फॉर, मतलब मेंटली आपको पहले से प्रिपेयर होना पड़ेगा कि स्पेशली जो कॉमन सेक्शंस होते हैं, जो सेक्शंस आपके सिर्फ ईपीएफओ में नहीं, सिर्फ सिविल सर्विसेज में नहीं, वो आपको सीडीएस में भी पूछे जाते हैं, वो आपको सेंट्रल आर्म पुलिस फोर्सेस के क्वेश्चंस में भी पूछे जाते हैं. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दीज पेपर्स बिकॉज क्योंकि इनको भी मैंने अटेम्प्ट किया है, इनके प्री क्लियर मैंने किए हैं. तो वहां पे भी हिस्ट्री, पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी, करंट अफेयर्स, यू हैव टू गो ऑल आउट. क्योंकि यहाँ पे आपको ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि आपका फॉर दोज ऑफ यू हु आर फ्रॉम नॉन यूपीएससी बैकग्राउंड, आपका कंपटीशन उनके साथ है who are preparing for civil services. And at least half of the people I know who are preparing for civil services are preparing for EPFO also. So in topics में तो आपको in depth करना पड़ेगा definitely.
Fine, valid point. ठीक है. So Karan, just mentioning about current affairs, जैसे कि आपने अभी वो चीज उठाई, the point here, the coverage of it, कि कितने साल का usually pattern आता है, how many months do we need to cover, and कितना, मतलब the areas, do we have a limitation to it?
See, as far as time कितना आपको cover करना चाहिए, at least 1 year. At least 1 year. कम से कम 1 साल का तो करना ही करना चाहिए. Given that the exam will be conducted in September, तो आप मान के चलो 2020 पूरा and 2021 इतना करना चाहिए.
Okay, so that will help.
बाकी see, there is no authority who can surely tell you that this would be the best way out. It could very well be so that current affairs that were in news a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, वो आ जाए.
Correct.
But एक general वो है कि आप करीब 1-1.5 साल का तो आप करके जाओ. इतना तो करना बनता. And moreover, करंट अफेयर्स में भी आप ये देखिए कि एग्जाम ईपीएफओ पे हो रहा है, तो आप ईपीएफओ से रिलेटेड जो क्वेश्चंस हैं या सोशल सिक्योरिटी से रिलेटेड जो क्वेश्चन है, वो भले ही 4 साल पुराने भी हों, उनको तो आप कर सकते हो.
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि वो सी देयर आर नो वाटर टाइट डिविजन्स बिटवीन द वाटर टाइट कंपार्टमेंट्स वन है. सोशल सिक्योरिटी इन इंडिया के ऊपर अगर अटल पेंशन योजना 4 साल पहले, 5 साल पहले भी न्यूज में थी, तो वो सोशल सिक्योरिटी इन इंडिया का पार्ट हो गया ना, वो करंट अफेयर्स उतना नहीं है. तो उसके लिए तो आपको 4-5 साल का तो करना पड़ेगा फॉर सोशल सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड इश्यूज, लेबर लॉज रिलेटेड इश्यूज. बाकी जनरल करंट अफेयर्स हैं तो उसको आप 1-1.5 साल कर लो, तो दैट इज मैनेजेबल.
Yes, I think that's one famous question that students usually have, ki coverage, how much do we need to do, right? So there are some set of schemes which are a part of these things. So as you said ki wo to purani hi hai, so but we still need to do that. Apart from that, the daily ones we can do for 1 year cycle. Right. So I think, Karan, let me just see if there are any questions related to preparation strategy, and then we'll move on to understand how is your life at the moment after you have joined there. Okay, so there are some good comments out there. Current affairs, I think we have covered. Okay, they're asking a salary directly, so you can skip that question. Fine. Okay.
Salary का one of my batchmates, he has done some videos probably. So he had probably discussed it. उसमें आपको मिल जाएगा. It's publicly available. उसमें कोई.
So let's go public with yours, right? Like at least the overall thing, the structure at least.
It's a grade pay 8 post. So the basic pay that starts with is 47,600 का basic pay होता है. उसके ऊपर you get the HRA, transportation allowance, and in select cities the CGHS facilities are there, whereas in the other cities fixed medical allowances are there.
Okay.
So like public servants की case में salary is public only, so
that's nice. So I think those who are asking for your salary, they must be satisfied now कि motivation थोड़ा और आ जाएगा कि चलो ठीक है अब तो कर लेंगे थोड़ा सा. Okay, so Karan, just tell me about the postings. That's something which usually bothers the aspirants, right? So how is this done usually? Do you get a chance to select where you can get posting?
In our case, we did. We had the opportunity to list our choices, like preferences अपनी rank के हिसाब से.
अच्छा.
The states that we wanted to get posted in. So yeah, I mean, like I had opted for Delhi, and thankfully I got Delhi. So right. Yeah, and what happens is that once you are posted to a state, you get allotted to a zone.
Okay.
So territorially, EPFO is divided into different zones, and thereafter each zone is divided into different regional offices. So I was posted to Delhi.
Okay.
As a zone, and there in Delhi, I was posted to regional office Delhi South.
Okay, got it. So do you get transfers? Like what is the duration, or is it a permanent posting that you get?
At a station, normally at least 5 years का तो posting होता है.
अच्छा.
But due to administrative discretion or compulsions, वो कम ज़्यादा भी हो सकता है. But 5 years का posting इसमें होता है. And unless and until someone explicitly requests it, once you are placed in a zone, you remain in a zone.
Okay.
That's the normal policy. But other than that, for example, some of my batchmates, see what happens is that after the repealing of the Article 370, the application of the EPF and MP Act 1952 was extended to Jammu and Kashmir also.
Okay.
So prior to that, Jammu Kashmir had its own provident fund organization, and it was governed by a separate policy. But after that, the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh also got included under the ambit of EPFO. So some of my batchmates, they willingly opted to get posted in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. So yeah, and तो उस तरह का चलता रहता है. But normally, if you get selected to a zone, you are there at least while you are an EO or AO.
That's nice. Yeah, so there's kind of a flexibility. Like, do you have a good work-life culture there, working in EPFO?
There are challenges and there are opportunities. Like any government organization, if you have read about Max Weber's bureaucratic theory, at the end of the day, it's a bureaucracy, but a bureaucracy that is rapidly changing.
Okay.
So I was asked in my interview also that, sometimes the interviewers also like to play the devil's advocate, no? So in my panel, the chairperson or probably the other member, they asked, why would you like to join a bureaucratic organization, especially that is considered to be a conservative organization like EPFO?
Oh, okay.
So this was one of the questions that they asked. And I shared my honest opinion that even if these are bureaucracies, in the 21st century, there are imperatives for the bureaucracies also to innovate and to adapt themselves with the changing times.
Correct.
And we are very well doing that. So if you see the last 1 decade worth of initiatives in the EPFO, from the launching of universal account number UN. So even as late as when I joined, 95%, 90% of the claims that we received were through the physical mode.
Okay.
Someone had to attest it and then it was posted. Whereas now it is just the opposite. So the claims, grievances, communication is through the virtual mode generally. The KYC data also suggests that it's above 90%. And even otherwise also there are a lot of initiatives that have been undertaken by the EPFO. And so it's a very interesting and challenging profile.
So I think not clearing UPSC turned out to be a good thing for you, right? So at the end, to those students who are not able to crack one exam, I think they still need to look ahead and keep trying for the other. So I think that's an important takeaway after having a conversation with you as well.
Surely.
Yeah. So Karan, just tell me about the interview experience, because how did it go, EPFO interview?
My interview was scheduled in October 2017. And the thing was that I had to make a very, how would you say, मतलब difficult choice थी थोड़ी, क्योंकि मैं UPSC के अलावा भी और exams दे रहा था. So my main examination for Uttarakhand PCS was on the same date. I had to choose, या तो मैं EPFO का एग्जाम देता या मैं उत्तराखंड का दे पाता. And barely a month after that, UPSC का मेन एग्जामिनेशन, सिविल सर्विस का मेन एग्जामिनेशन था. तो बहुत ज्यादा समय नहीं था. Once I had made the choice कि मुझे EPFO का एग्जाम देना है. Secondly, knowledge बहुत ज्यादा नहीं थी EPFO के बारे में.
Correct.
क्योंकि आप अभी भी if you ask aspirants, a lot of them do not generally know. अभी फिर भी पिछले 2-3 साल में लोगों में अवेयरनेस आई है EPFO के बारे में. तब EPFO को ज्यादातर लोग उतना पता नहीं था. पब्लिक डोमेन में इतनी नॉलेज नहीं थी. तो there are two aspects of it, I believe. One is the knowledge aspect कि आपको पता होना चाहिए क्या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. On that count, my friend जिसका मैंने जिक्र किया, he helped me to brief कि ये ऐसे ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, ये हायरार्की है, ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर है, इनिशिएटिव्स हैं. On the second count, interview itself, चाहे वो किसी भी तरह का इंटरव्यू, जो अभी भी हम इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं, it's a conversation at the end of the day. It's a formal conversation. True. Wherein there are certain protocols, but it's an interview is a conversation. तो उसकी preparation के लिए all credit has to go to my father, because he is an interview trainer. तो उन्होंने मेरे को मिस्टर दीपक राघव, तो उन्होंने मेरे को बहुत हेल्प किया. And more so because उस टाइम पे I was very low. 5 years of being newly unemployed, so that really helped me a lot. And इसमें किसी भी aspirant जो ये interview देख रहा हो, I'll definitely ask you guys कि आप अपने आपको जब तक नहीं खोजोगे तब तक आप इंटरव्यू में बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. क्योंकि वहां पे जो आपका इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं 4 people, 5 people, between them they have at least 100 years of experience.
True.
So if you do not be yourself, तो आप पकड़े जाओगे. वो हो नहीं पाएगा. आप मतलब फेक करना वो नहीं हो पाएगा. So you have to work on your personality, your grooming, etiquette, सब चीजें बहुत मैटर करती हैं. So yeah, that helped me. और मतलब mock interviews दिए थे थोड़े से, उससे that really helped.
So were you also asked questions on say current affairs या कुछ basic concepts?
Absolutely. See, इसमें एक चीज I'll share, क्योंकि अभी तक मैंने देखा नहीं पब्लिक डोमेन में. मैं I was also curious कि लोग किस तरह प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं. तो एक DAF होता है, डिटेल एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म होता है.
करेक्ट.
इंटरव्यू स्टेज पे उससे पहले आपको भर के देना होता है. मैं अपना भी एक बार DAF आप लोगों के साथ में एक बार शेयर करके आपको भी दिखा दूंगा. उसमें क्या था, it's only one line इसमें कि आपको डिस्क्राइब करना है अपनी हॉबीज. दैट वाज द ओनली थिंग जिसमें आप कुछ इनिशिएटिव ले सकते हो. क्योंकि डैफ एक्चुअली क्या होता है, इफ एनी ऑफ यू हैज प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर हैज अपीयर्ड फॉर द सिविल सर्विस वाला इंटरव्यू, उसमें देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ कॉलम्स जहाँ पे आप कुछ इनिशिएटिव लेके हाईलाइट कर सकते हो अपने अचीवमेंट्स, या आप जिस स्टोरी को आप प्रोजेक्ट करना चाह रहे हो, क्योंकि इंटरव्यू में आप अपने आप को भी एक तरह से अपने अचीवमेंट्स को हाईलाइट तो करना ही है.
करेक्ट.
तो सो इन दैट ओनली वन column was there. So in that I had included that my hobbies include playing guitar, poetry, and reading about international affairs issues. So a lot of my interview was on that, on that road. So yeah, and secondly, I think थोड़ा रिस्क लेना बनता है. तो मैं जब इंटरव्यू के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहा था, आई वाज बॉग्ड डाउन बाय दिस डिजेक्शन दैट यार आई हैव बीन फेलिंग फॉर 5 years. और इन्होंने अगर मुझसे पूछ लिया कि तुम 5 साल से क्या कर रहे हो, तो दैट विल बी अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन टू हैंडल, एंड अनएक्सपेक्टेडली इन द मिडल ऑफ द कॉन्वर्जेशन अगर वो आ जाता है तो इट विल बी, इट कैन derail the whole thing. So I duly and respectfully in my interview asked them that if I could share my story with them.
You asked upfront.
I mean, like, I went in there. I greeted them all, asked for permission to sit, and then I respectfully asked them.
Okay.
And they were courteous and kind enough to let me do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is a risk that I took. I'm not advising any of you to take this risk.
Yeah.
But I did, and I'm honestly sharing it because मुझे ये लगा कि I might not be very knowledgeable about the technical aspects of certain things.
Correct.
But I had a story to share. तो उसमें क्या होगा, मना कर देंगे, ऑफेंड तो नहीं हो जाएगा ना कोई इस चीज से.
Yes.
And that was important for me because there was a certain narrative that I wanted to be discussing about, and luckily that cracked, that happened. But having said that, I want to make it very clear कि अगर आप अपनी preparation में knowledge वाले aspect पे sound नहीं हो, तो none of these things will work.
Okay, fair enough.
Because after that my interview went on for about half an hour. उसमें I was asked at least ज़्यादा नहीं तो 20-25 questions तो आराम से पूछे होंगे. Not necessarily from EPFO. EPFO से 2-3 questions, but other than that there were a plethora of issues that were discussed. My optional for civils was geography. So they grilled me on geography like anything. They asked me questions on international affairs. They asked me questions about ethics. So there were a lot of topics that were discussed.
So I think it was a mixed feeling there, right? मतलब सब कुछ answer भी करना at the same time. There's some kind of a fear. जैसे you were having that kind of a notion कि 5 साल हो गए. I think जो first step आपने लिया, it just broke the ice for you, right? You just went ahead and like खत्म. अब आप बोलो जो भी बोलना ना. I'm ready to answer your questions because I've put my point forward now. हाँ,
somehow that addressed the elephant in the room.
Yeah. That's a smart way to play. I hope many of them can pull that off, I think. Yeah.
हाँ, but इसको इस चीज का है कि you have to be smart, but not over smart.
Exactly. True.
आपको risks भी लेनी है, लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा भी चालाक बनने की चक्कर में
backfire भी हो सकता है.
Backfire हो जाएगा, definitely backfire हो जाएगा. लेकिन अगर आप, if you are, if you're honest about things. For example, I'll share another question that was asked in my interview. So one of the members asked me, because I had cited international affairs, so they asked me कि अभी recently there is some sort of a weapon that has been launched by that has been introduced by the Islamic State, ISIS. So can you describe what sort of a weapon have they introduced? तो मुझे तो नहीं पता था कि यार आईसिस ने ऐसा कोई वेपन रिसेंटली लॉन्च किया, बिकॉज 2017 में आईसिस वाज ऑन द डिक्लाइन तो न्यूज में आती थी लेकिन इतना ज्यादा नहीं आता था. I did not know, but I did not want to say that I don't know. I did not want to say that I'm blank about it. Having written that I'm interested in international affairs, I cannot be like I don't have any idea. कोई मुझे हवा ही नहीं है इस चीज की, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहता था. So I submitted to them that, sir, I don't know specifically if any weapon that has been introduced, but I've surely read that of late what the ISIS terrorists have been doing in Europe is that they're hijacking lorries and trucks and killing people on the pavements. So I don't know if that can be considered a weapon as such, but that's a method that I've read about that the terrorists are employing of late.
Okay.
So, I mean, this might work for some.
Yes.
This might not work for some. I don't know if this increased my interview marks or it subtracted or if it had any impact or not.
I think it's the presence of mind basically कि उस टाइम पे आप कैसे उस चीज को हैंडल करते हो.
हाँ, presence of mind, चाहे वो इंटरव्यू हो, चाहे वो आपका written exam हो, आपको you have to be wholly in that moment. In those 2 hours, you have to be 110% present in that exam. And there's this thing that स्कूल के टाइम पे, स्कूल के कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में भी यार अनसीन पैसेज जैसे आता है, उसमें you assume it that even if you don't know it, you can find the answer within the question also sometimes.
Yes, true.
इधर पे भी अगर आप अप्रोच ये रखो कि you have studied enough, provided that if you have studied enough, तो आपकी अप्रोच ये होनी चाहिए कि that you can figure out the answers from within the question.
Correct.
Certainly not in all of the questions, but there are plenty of questions where if you are present enough with the question paper, you can eliminate at least a couple of options.
Yeah. I think that's about your mindset that you're trying to.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are bilingual, if you are not able to understand the question in one language, then you should definitely read the other language.
Correct.
For example, a question पूछा था in certain year about a camel called the KHARAI.
अच्छा.
So,
okay.
तो खड़ाई है. I could not understand कि ये क्या है, मतलब ये कौन सा ऊँट आ गया. Whereas when I had a look at the Hindi version of it, it was the Kharai camel.
Okay, so you were able to get it. हाँ कि ये है.
Khara is salty. So at least I had some inkling of what could the questioner, what could the examiner be hinting at. Sure. And oftentimes you have to be, you have to have that courage to try to decipher things, even when they're not very explicit.
Yeah.
Risk थोड़ा तो लेना पड़ेगा.
I think these are the things that are major takeaways, जैसे कि mindset आपका क्या होना चाहिए, थोड़ी presence of mind लगा ली, अपने पे काम करा, personality पे, जैसे आप interview से पहले, you were hesitant about a few things, you worked on it, right? You found a way to crack that. So I think अगर सब लोग अपने को study कर लें और the same thing they follow, not the exact strategy of course, but something like that, I think that will definitely help them ace the interview and come out of the fear basically.
Absolutely.
So एक और point यहाँ पे था करण कि in the notification, right, there's a kind of a desired qualification that is mentioned. So do they get a lot of focus? Are they the ones that are given priority while being selected? Because you have your batchmates out there, you have your colleagues working with you, right? So
in my case, technically speaking, I was not a desirable candidate because the degree that I hold, Bachelor of Business Studies, is technically it does not come under that list of courses that are called the desired qualification. But anyhow, even there are certain friends of mine who by training are geologists.
Okay, that's interesting.
One of my friends, he is a sociology major from JNU. So I don't think that is, I think that should be suffice to मैंने पहले भी कहा है कि आप डिजायरेबल क्वालिफिकेशन एक एक उसका वेटेज है, but that's not the be all and end all of it.
So much of diverse culture, right? Agar if you have the right pick, you can just grab it up, right? That's how it is.
Absolutely. इसलिए आप किसी भी टॉपर की या जो भी एस्पिरेंट सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं, आप उनकी आप प्रोफाइल उठा के देखें, आप 5 अगर टॉपर्स मिलेंगे तो उनके कई बार सोर्सेज भी 5 अलग होते हैं.
True.
लेकिन कॉमन जो चीज है वो आपको उठा के रखनी है कि आप के अंदर, as you rightly said, you have to have perseverance.
Yeah.
Because there are very rare prodigies in this field who are, so gifted and who are so self-driven कि वो सुबह 5 बजे उठ के ही अपना लक्ष्मीकांत कर लेंगे और 7 बजे तो ऐसे कम लोग हैं. तो कंपटीशन आपका अपने आप से ही है. अपने तैयारी पे फोकस रखें. एट द सेम टाइम एक कम्युनिटी का पार्ट भी रहोगे तो फायदा है.
करेक्ट. वेरी वेल पुट पॉइंट एक्चुअली.
मतलब कम्युनिटी का पार्ट इसलिए नहीं होना है कि आपको इस चीज से ये टेंशन हो या जेलसी हो कि उसने तो ये कर लिया, उसने तो ऐसा कर लिया. देयर आर सर्टेन सोर्सेज दैट आई हैव नेवर रेड. जैसे मैंने ज्योग्राफी में मैंने कभी जीसी लियोंग आज तक नहीं पढ़ी है. एंड सो मतलब काफी सारे ऐसे सोर्सेज होंगे. And I'm sure even people who get selected for other exams also, they also do not read everything.
Yeah. So I think, Karan, you just mentioned the self-driven, right? That's where I wanted to go. See, 5 years of repeated attempts, right? Again, बार-बार आप तैयारी कर रहे हो, prelims लिखने जा रहे हो, खुशी हो रही है, mains के लिए select हो गए, फिर वापस से वही cycle शुरू. I know it can be very hectic, it can be draining, and there must have been very bad phases wherein आपको लग रहा होगा मैं उठ नहीं पाऊंगा, I'm just done, right? Tell me, how did you each time pull yourself up? Because there has to be something, some thought process, that can be from your family, that can be maybe some inner kind of an urge, but what was it for you in this case?
The surprising thing is that a lot of people who give one attempt UPSC, I have observed that most people, they do not quit after the first attempt itself. Because वो एक inertia build हो जाता है, एक momentum आ जाता है. So then they go for the second attempt. Then they give it a third attempt also.
Correct.
And a lot of people, not all, but a huge proportion of people, they exhaust all their attempts. So there's a certain sense of self, एक cyclical सा एक इसमें वो है in the whole process, that people tend to give attempt after attempt. Here the important thing is, as we started the interview, it's very important to be clear with the why.
Yeah, true.
Very, very important. And after, I mean, like, may God bless every candidate that they succeed in the very first attempt. But speaking practically, after every failure, you should do a reassessment. You should reassess that fire in your belly. How important is that why still to you? Now that you have invested one more year, तो कॉस्ट भी इंक्रीज हुई है, इन्फ्लेट हुई है. इवन दैट कॉस्ट अपना कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस करें. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
ट्रू.
एंड या नेचुरली मतलब वो तो डेफिनेटली है कि आप वो ड्रिवन तो होना ही पड़ेगा. देयर इज नो अल्टरनेटिव टू इट.
I think वो एक आपकी बात, I think if everybody just understands that कि why को पकड़ लो basically. First answer that why and just stick to that कि this is why I'm doing it. I think जब भी you fall down, you will just get मतलब उड़ जाओगे अपने आप उस why को सोच के कि हाँ इसलिए मैं ये चीज कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ, right? So I think
and that holds true for anything in life, for that matter.
Obviously.
इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं तो
क्यों कर रहे हैं?
क्यों कर रहे हैं?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, चाहे प्रोफेशनल लाइफ हो चाहे पर्सनल लाइफ हो, आपके वाइज बहुत क्लियर होने चाहिए.
Yes.
Everything cannot be logical also. आप फैमिली में अगर if you are अपने रिलेशनशिप्स में there will be times when the when there are no logical reasons for doing things.
Yeah.
But आपको पता होना चाहिए. अगर आप कोई चीज का अगर कोई rational explanation नहीं है, for a mother to love her kid, you cannot give a rational explanation ना कि मैं इसलिए कर रही हूँ.
True.
तो ये एग्जाम उस तरह से नहीं है, लेकिन
correct.
It's a process that will lead you to a certain job.
Yes.
There are certain facts and myths around that job. Try your best to clarify on those. अपनी strengths और weaknesses को assess करो कि आपको उसके लिए कितना time आप देने के लिए आप ready हो. So yeah.
I think that's very well put out, and it's really been a learning curve throughout, even in this 45 minutes of time that I have had with you. So I could really gauge the kind of positivity after this. Let me just have a look at the questions if you have missed out any. So I'll just quickly pick few. Okay, so one of them is asking, is the interview bilingual?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Sadly, it's not. I had English as my medium of communication. You can have either English or Hindi.
But not English, right?
Not English, certainly not. That's neither entertaining, and that does not even look professional also, frankly. Because like in this interview, हम switch कर रहे हैं language. बट हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि भाई हम लोगों से कनेक्ट कर पाए. इसका कोई फॉर्मल पर्पस नहीं है. फॉर फॉर्मल इंटरव्यूज इट इज जनरली एडवाइजेबल आप एक ही लैंग्वेज पे स्टिक करें. एंड आई वेंट विद इंग्लिश.
So where do you actually choose your language? जैसे इंटरव्यू के लिए you have to choose, right? या तो मैं इंग्लिश या तो हिंदी.
I think it was the DAP. I am sorry, I don't remember it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's 2017, so I do understand. Fine. But yeah, we need to go ahead with one language, right? During the entire time. ठीक है. Okay, so I think. Okay, there were some questions around you keeping yourself motivated. So I think we have addressed those questions. Okay. Do you remember your marks by any chance in written exam?
Composite score, I think it was 132.
Okay. 50-50% weightage, right? Last time. This time it is 75-25.
So I think I scored 132 overall.
Okay.
I don't remember the bifurcation of those marks.
Fair enough. Okay, so few of them. Okay, they're asking about promotions and job satisfaction. About promotions and EPFO and job satisfaction.
See, the promotional hierarchy is such that after we become the enforcement/accounts officer, the next promotion is to the assistant BF commissioner.
Okay.
So therein the recruitment rules that were published last year, RR जो हुए थे उसमें it has been announced that the non-functional upgrade NFU has been announced for just this post. Okay. But isme policy, it's not cast in stone right now that when will the next promotion be due for the EOs and AOs.
Do you have internal exams for promotions?
Not for the APFC. APFC post ke liye either it is the direct recruitment or through the time-bound promotions.
Cool. Okay. Okay, one of the candidate has asked, did they concentrate on your academic background while asking questions?
As far as I can remember, because I have a commerce background, they did not ask questions on commerce per se, but they asked a lot of questions on geography.
Because your optional was it, right?
My optional was geography, and secondly, so I shared in the interview that many years ago I was the winner of the National Geography Olympiad.
Okay, so they got you there.
Thereafter, I represented India at the National Geographic World Championship in San Diego, California. So I mean, probably they were grilling me on that to test whether I was being true or just faking it.
Trust me, this
a lot
was
of questions were on geography. Sorry?
This was enough for them to start grilling you on that.
Yeah, a lot of questions, and a lot of questions that they were not, straight direct questions. So like earlier we were discussing, that it's important to be present in that moment, lest they ask you something and you respond with something else.
True.
So one of the questions that they asked was, what do the Himalayan states, what have the Himalayan states given Himalayas and Himalayas given Himalayan states?
Wow. Okay. So did you ask them to repeat the question for you?
No, I did not ask them to repeat the question. I humbly stated that as per this question, this is my understanding of what is being asked. And this is the line of answering that accordingly I'm about to take. Is that correct? Am I reproducing their question correctly? And after they had affirmed that yes, I went on. There's no point answering well a question that was not asked in the first place.
So I think that's how, that's presence of mind, Karan. You have been giving instances of how you were very spontaneous with things that really helped you, as far as I can listen to your conversation regarding interview specifically. So yeah, that's one major point coming out here. Fine. I think. Okay, one of them is very excited. They want to be the next All India Rank 1. So today we are taking your interview. So they're very eager to be there in the cards next.
You all the very best.
That's great. Yeah. Right. Okay, about your salary, we have already done this question. Job satisfaction is done. I think many questions on job satisfaction. Really worried whether you're satisfied with your job, Karan. So please tell them out there if you're satisfied or not. So that's really important.
In the past 3 years, if any of you have been reading on what formally is the role of the enforcement officer, what is the role of the accounts officer, I have been acting as the accounts officer for the past 3 years, yet to go to the field to experience that side of the job. But other than these two also, there are a lot of opportunities that you don't get to read in the, formal notification or
Right.
So like I have been doubling up as the public relations officer in the office.
Okay.
So designing creatives.
Wow. Okay.
We have created a couple of clips to highlight the achievements of the office during the COVID pandemic. So, like if people know, and they ought to know because they are preparing for this exam, EPFO was declared as an essential service in March 2020.
Yeah.
What happened was that after the lockdown was announced on 22nd or 21st of March 2020, so the normal way of going about to the office, it ceased immediately. But the thing is that EPFO का role है social security provide करना इस country. ठीक है, अगर लोगों के claims नहीं होंगे, उनके pension नहीं पहुंचाए जाएंगे, death claims नहीं होंगे, people who have already or are on the verge of losing their jobs, informal economy में इतना बड़ा एक impact हुआ है इतना ऐसा challenging time पे, it will create a havoc.
Yes.
So EPFO was declared as an essential service in March 2020, and throughout the COVID period, throughout the lockdown, because I'm sharing this because up to people have grown comfortable with COVID, right?
Yes.
But during those initial days, when everybody was locked up in their homes, my colleagues had been coming to the office. We had a roster system in place, but the motivation was such that an overwhelming of majority of the people were coming to the office. Some of them laid down their lives for this purpose. There is ample of opportunity to make an impact. Other than that, also there are many schemes of the government. Sometimes they are not necessarily introduced by the EPFO, but they are under the ambit of the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So I had the opportunity of coordinating the efforts on a scheme called the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandan Yojana. So it caters to the pension requirements of the unorganized sector. So usme we had to create awareness among people. Other than that, recently Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana was launched by the government of India, and therein there are provisions that for the new employment that establishments are creating, government would be compensating them with the PF contribution of the employees, of the new employees. So in that also we have to create awareness, we have to organize webinars, have to resolve their queries. So there are a lot of avenues to grow in this very job, even besides the core duties of what an accounts officer or an enforcement officer is supposed to do.
Okay. So I think, Karan, this speaks a lot about the profile, the pointers that you gave. I think that's the end of it. You just listen to this and you're like, core duties hai, but apart from that also, how are you creating a difference?
Because EPFO is an autonomous organization. So every regional office, or for that matter, zonal office, HO, they have a plethora of sections. Account section, compliance section, they're the two important pillars, but other than that also there is the public relations section, pension section, legal section, HR, which we call admin. So there are a lot of sections, and there's a lot to learn even in those aspects of the job.
I think that's fantastic, and I think, yes, we are almost done. And okay, so there are a few other questions, but I think all are repetitive. So we will be taking this to an end right now. So Karan, first of all, I've personally had a lot of learning when I've been talking to you, and I do hope the same thing is reflected there outside to the students as well. And we can see they're really happy seeing you answer these questions. Thank you so much, Karan, from the entire team of Oliveboard.
Thank you so much. And one last thing that I would like to tell all the viewers that for this exam has been announced way back 1.5 years ago. I was very reluctant in reaching out and responding to a lot of queries because I did not know what could be the best strategy or best study source that I can suggest. Yeah. But now that I think about it, other than the core study sources also, there are a lot of queries that people hold regarding how to push themselves and about the job profile and things like that. So I am available for you guys. You can reach out to me through YouTube, through Facebook, and maybe we can have another conversation on this very platform someday. And I wish you all the very best and keep doing good. May God be with you.
Thank you so much, Karan. It was a pleasure, and we'll definitely be having one other conversation with you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, friends out there. And I hope you found this interview really, really useful. And we will definitely come back with some other conversation again with Karan. We'll request him, and he's, I think he'll be more than happy to be there with us. So guys, at the end,